We have a challenge here, which we are addressing. I think is 85% addressed, and I want to commend the county team for a good job. Lloydford and Ngunyi, you've done a good job, and the rest of the colleagues. There's a small group of criminals here calling themselves some names, some gangs here, who have been terrorizing people, stabbing women and children and men. The government has also decided to transfer all officers, especially from the National Police Service, who have stayed for more than 3 years in one station. 42,500 officers will be transferred by Wednesday next week. By all means possible, nobody will be left out. Some of these officers have stayed in one station for too long. They have gotten mixed up with local issues. Some of them have no capacity to enforce the law impartially, because they even have married local girls there, and they have opened butcheries and bars, and you don't know whether somebody is a police officer or one of the villagers. So we are going to effect the transfer policy without fail and without exception. 42,500 officers must move by Wednesday next week. Some of our public officers involved in law enforcement are conflicted. They have conflict of interest, and therefore we have directed that all law enforcement officers from all agencies and all ranks who have interests in the second generation alcohol industry or related industry must stop, must cease that business. Alternatively, they have to leave the service. They have to leave their job, because they can't enforce the law in a matter where they have business interests. We have a challenge here, which we are addressing. I think is 85% addressed, and I want to commend the county team for a good job. Lloydford and Ngunyi, you've done a good job, and the rest of the colleagues. There's a small group of criminals here calling themselves some names, some gangs here, who have been terrorizing people, stabbing women and children and men, and spoiling the good reputation of Nakuru town, which is one of the major urban centers of our country. We have gone great lengths in destabilizing and suppressing, and the remaining 10-15%, we have agreed on a strategy. It's just a matter of days and weeks. You'll hear no more of this gang. We will wipe them out, because what they are doing is no different from what other organized criminals are doing to the rest of the country. We also have land disputes, especially in certain parts of this county. We've agreed on how they will be resolved amicably and peacefully, so that we don't have a situation where either people encroach on people's land and refuse to move, or alternatively, people get access to land through fraudulent title deeds. And therefore, we are putting on notice all public officers, including officers in the Ministry of Land and officers involved in the survey of land, that those who are aiding land fraud and forgery of title deeds and so forth are criminals, just like any other criminals, and will be very merciless with them. Other than that, we are destroying criminals and their infrastructure. Just that. We are not destroying any legitimate business. But anybody who is selling poison and selling drugs to the people of Kenya is not in business. He's a criminal, and is in the same WhatsApp group with terrorists, bandits, and other organized criminals.